Hey guys, TechMan here with the video for you guys. In today's video, we're going to talk about the iPhone 12 Pro in 2023, if it's going to be worth buying it or if it's still worth getting the iPhone 12 Pro if you're thinking of buying it. So we're going to talk about an overview of the phone, give you some things about the performance and the price and whether you should go for this phone or still use it if you are using it. So let's dive into it. So the iPhone 12 Pro again was released back in October of 2020 and it's been a little over 2 years now, and that's not saying a lot for iPhone, especially the increment of updates that Apple do, usually not too much. But this phone, again, it's hard to believe it's been a little over 2 years now, but that is kind of where the phone stands. Now it has a 6.1 inch display, as you can see here, all OLED display. You got 60 hertz refresh rate, unlike the newer phones that have the 120 hertz refresh rate. Probably a con for this phone if you're comparing the refresh rate. But other things to note about this phone, it comes with the A14 Bionic chip and 6 gig of RAM, which is pretty good for the hardware that equipped with itself for a smartphone. And if you take a look at the camera here, you'll notice here it does come with the 3 triple camera, 12 megapixel camera, which the Pro lineup does come with, and it starts at the price of $999 when it was originally released. But the sweet part about this phone is now you can actually get this phone for just a little over $500, and most likely you'll be able to buy it off eBay or Amazon or locally, because Apple no longer actually sells the phone directly from its website. But as you can see here, it's a beautiful phone. Here I have the gold edition one, but you can get it in the space gray edition one. You can also get the silver one, and then the Pacific blue, which is the new color on the iPhone 12 lineup that was introduced on the Pro model here. Now, the other thing to note about the iPhone 12 Pro is that it does come with 5G on the US model and certain countries as well, and that's the very first time we've seen 5G introduced. But more interestingly enough is that physical SIM card that is available on the iPhone 12 Pro, which seems to be a con for the iPhone 14 lineup, especially in the US model, because if you're a person that likes to travel and likes to take out the SIM card, can't quite do that with the new iPhone 14 Pro or the 14 Pro Max. You have to go ahead and use eSIM, but with the 12 Pro you still have that ability to do a physical SIM card here. So those are a couple things to note about. Now, other thing we want to mention about is the battery life on this phone here. You'll notice here the battery on this phone is actually pretty good for its size. It's a 2815 mAh battery, gives you about 17 hours of video playback. Now, compared to the new 14 Pro, of course, it's a little bit less, but again, 17 hours of video playback, which is pretty good for the phone itself, considering it's a 2-year-old phone. So those are a couple things to note about. We mentioned the camera here. If you look at the camera here, of course, take some really nice crisp photo. Even you can do photography in different settings as well to really upgrade your photography skill. And then when it comes to even video recording, you can actually record up to 4K 60 frames per second in terms of taking some nice, really good video. Now, a couple things it does lack if you're comparing some of the features on the newer lineup of the Pro with the 14 Pro is that it doesn't have things like cinematic mode available for you. But again, that's kind of a lack feature because it's just an older phone. But really, again, it doesn't really matter for the average user if you're really comparing the specs here. Now, let's move on to the next topic of the phone, which is around the software of the phone. So if you might have noticed that we updated this phone to iOS 16 and it's ready with iOS 16. We did a review of it, and iOS 16 works really nice with the phone. We're able to do the update easily, take advantage of all the top features that iOS 16 brings us that we demoed in our other previous video on iOS 16. Here, you'll notice that most of the apps that I have, from your entertainment apps to your social media apps, all of those apps work flawlessly. I have all of those downloaded here. I can simply open it up and you see here right away it works just like it should, for even from entertainment to work to play. All of those apps, as you can see here, downloaded, working phenomenally without any issue. So let's dive into the next topic about the phone here, is doing the basic stuff with this phone. So when it comes to basic, find that this phone does that really well, and that's kind of what the phone is meant to do. You'll be able to do all of that easy. Of course, that's with any phone. When it comes to browsing, you'll see your pages just open up pretty quick, no issues there. Even when it comes to the harder stuff it does, even when it comes to even like playing back videos and music. You'll see it's a great stereo system. These built-in speakers, again, are phenomenal as well. So let's kind of answer the question, is the iPhone 12 Pro really worth it in 2023? We think it is definitely worth it, and a couple reasons why it's worth it. First of all, if you're looking for that physical SIM card, it has that physical SIM card for you. It has most of the feature that the newer Pro lineup has, and you're not spending another $1,000 for it. And the sweet spot about this iPhone is that you can get it half the price that it originally came in. Like we mentioned, you're probably going to be looking for this phone on eBay or Amazon, which we'll leave the link in the description section. You can get it around $500. And this phone, again, it's going to be good for another 3 to 4 years without any doubt, because most iPhones are supported for about 5 years or so you don't have to worry about the phone not being supported for a long time. Again, with those nice equipped cameras and the battery life, this phone again is one of the winners for a phone if you're considering in 2023 and don't want to break the bank. This is where the iPhone 12 Pro does excel. So we want to hear from you guys. What's your thought on the iPhone 12 Pro? Make sure to leave a comment in the comment section whether you used it in the past, upgraded from it, or are currently using, and want to see what your thoughts are. While you're at it, make sure that like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching, guys. See you guys next time.